we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado. This is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are having a great week. It's good to be back with you here at Discussion Combustion Podcast, episode 88, coming out of the cold Denver, Colorado.
It's super chilly. I'm tired because of the cold.
Man, it's getting cold down there in Texas, too, like Rink was saying last week. Those guys are getting ready to get snow in the Dallas area. It's nuts. The weather is crazy.
Everyone's going to freak
now.
out. No one's going to know how to drive.
People are going to be crashing. The ice storms are going to be happening. Just hope y'all are safe out there, man. And you know what? I'm ready for it to start getting a little bit warmer outdoors because I am ready to go on some wild outdoor adventures. And WOAMEET.com is the place where I'm going to go, set up my free account, get connected with other people, and get ready to rip for the summer.
Absolutely. You know, if you're looking into Colorado, because this is a Colorado-specific website, definitely the place to go. You could start a blog, ask questions, see what they've done in the past. They have YouTube videos that are all really fun to watch. And really the thing about Wild Outdoor Adventures is it's about bringing people together and making friendships and making memories because, you know, life is but all the little moments, is it not? So when you're filling it with those type of interactions with people who care for the same things you do, there's hope for teens, veterans. If you're an entrepreneur, definitely check it out. That's what we're living for, is those kind of interactions, building a memory, building friendships.
It's a great opportunity to do it, man. You know, COVID's going to hopefully be restricted a little bit here as we head into the summer. You know, we're going to start to see that ease up. So getting back outdoors, connecting with people, you know, buying some cool outdoor gear, going on fishing trips, hiking trips, backpacking trips. It's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait for summertime to get here. So go ahead and get yourself signed up over there for free. Connect with others, get ready to go, man. And that's less dreaming and more exploring.
DCPC is also brought to you by a Mountain Made CBD. Now, you guys already know this is the place where you could go get the crystal clear active lifestyle CBD, mountainmade.life.
There it is, guys, mountainmade.life. Go over there and check out that website. It's a fun place to go hang out, look around, you know, see what kind of merch they got going on. Most importantly, you're there to put some items in your cart. Get the bundle and save, guys. You know, auto pay, auto ship. To start adding items to your cart, you're going to bundle and save. Build, boost, recover, puff, combat, defend, and take care of your furry friends with the dogs.
Yeah, and even without the bundling, even if you're just into one product and you want to buy that, if you set up with the auto pay, auto ship, you still get discounts even if it's just one thing. Yep. So it's definitely worth checking out. And I like the combat. I've been using that daily. I use the boost. I'm really excited for the elderberry one.
Yep, the defend.
Defend, exactly. They have dog CBD workout programs on their website. If you are a dispensary out there and you're interested in having CBD or you're a shop that can have CBD on the shelves, definitely check out Mountain Made because they are set up with all the regulations nationwide.
That's it. They got you guys ready to go here, ready to get your product from San Diego up to Bangor, Maine, covering the beautiful U.S. of A. Mountain Made CBD, guys. That's that hashtag go like hell mentality. Go like hell, baby.
Hell yeah. And you know, this one is anticipated. We're really excited to have Juston in here tonight. Welcome to the show.
Day's been all right. I've been trying to nap a little bit. I was on set all night last night. So, because I'm an actor, and even though I write and produce and co-write and produce a bunch of short films and do the sketches with Drew, I still do background work because I'm an idiot and I just want those taxes to go towards the taxes so I don't have to pay taxes. I don't like paying taxes.
I know. Get as many write-offs as you can. I was talking with my dad. He's been an owner of a construction company for years and years, and I was talking to him about the taxing, and he had mentioned that, you know, they normally want you to do it quarterly, but he would just do it annually, and the fine would only be like $63. So he would just do it annually and take the $63 fine of not doing it every single quarter because it saved time and everything, you know? So it's kind of interesting because we're looking at doing some LLC stuff with this as well. And so we're trying to pick people's brains. How do you do it? So like, what would you say? Because you own your own business then with this.
Yeah. Drew and I started Anthony Roy Productions as a production company. Right now it's only registered as a partnership because the partnership lasts 5 years. And when I went to go register it and all that stuff, the guy that I talked to, he was like, "Oh, well, I mean, you guys don't really have any assets. I mean, now we do. We have like Astera lights and cameras and stuff that we use and all that stuff. So obviously we have assets now, but with an LLC, you have to pay like $800 a month or $800 annually every year. In the state of California, it's different for every state. I think Arizona is like the most lenient with making and creating a business. So if you got a buddy in Arizona that wants to forward all your mail to you, I would do it there. This is from what I hear.
So what would you say has been kind of like one of the biggest hurdles that you've overcome in the time that you've been doing it?
Well, I think that I don't know. Like I got out of the military in 2012 and I went to school. My buddy talked me into going to school. So I did Savannah College of Art and Design and then transferred to USC, graduated USC with a bachelor's in theater. And like the transition is still a transition, we're using Anthony Roy Productions as like a step off point to try to like break into the Hollywood business, showing them that we know what we're doing. We know how to write a script. We know how to format it. We know how to take a script and take it through the process of post-production and finish it, as opposed to a lot of people like say I have this really great idea and it sits in the shelf of mine. And they never put it on paper and they never film it. I'm very proud of like what we've accomplished in the small time that we've been together, because we met October 2019 and we've already done 3 films with Anthony Roy Productions, 1 other film, and 3 of these films out of the 4 that we've done together were done in a pandemic, during the pandemic. Yeah. We were able to, supply jobs during the pandemic, making sure people are coming to set and taking their temperatures and stuff like that. It's definitely a challenge. It's like, it's a roller coaster, man. We're still trying to figure it out too. So,
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, especially in Los Angeles, man, where those are some of the tightest restrictions out there where you guys are at. And obviously being in the movie production business, that's a competitive market. The challenges with COVID for the last year, you just mentioned, showing up on set and having to do temperature checks and stuff like that. How much added time and adjustments go into, social distancing you guys, but still being able to do your part as actors and get in there and getting aggressive with it?
Well, I mean, it's different for us because like we're low budget independent film, that the ones that we've done, right? So it's like our films are only about 20 minutes long. We're finding people that are willing to come out and work. Obviously, they need to work too, and we're willing to pay them. People are just like, they're careful within themselves, and like, obviously, it hasn't happened. I don't think it will happen. People come to the set and have gotten sick. Nobody's gotten sick on any of our productions whatsoever. And I think it's just because people know that there's a pandemic. People know that there's coronavirus. People know that there's a risk of being sick. So they take those necessary precautions. We have, hand sanitizer on set, and we're taking the temperatures right on. It adds some kind of, it honestly really doesn't add that much extra time to take someone's temperature. And if they're over 100, tell them, sorry, Kid Rock, you can't be here. We got to find a replacement now. But that would suck too. Yeah. It's been a little bit of a challenge, but I would say not, because we're not making we're not going through SAG. We're not going through the Screen Actors Guild and making our films union. Our first film was union. I'm in SAG, so like going from the actor's side, like SAG is a great like organization. It's not really a union, it's a guild, because unions help you get work and SAG really doesn't. Like they'll have like casting director workshops and stuff available for actors to go and take and try to like better themselves, their careers, and try to use that as networking and stepping stones or whatnot, which is awesome. But when it comes to the producer side, dealing with SAG, it's such a headache. It's such a headache. Like, it doesn't make sense that they want, I mean, I guess it makes sense from their standpoint. They want everything to go through a payroll system or a payroll company if you're paying people, obviously. But we put money into a separate bank account. That's our business bank account. And we just, like 1099 people, pay people on the spot, oh, thanks for coming. Here you go. Send you on your way. I think the first film, we had background actors that weren't paid yet, because we're trying to turn a profit on that, which is still something we're trying to navigate and figure out how to do with distribution. But we're we're doing it, as opposed to people out here that aren't doing it. So
Yeah.
Hey man, I mean, to take the initiative, get it started, you just got to like be sick of doing what you're doing. Like you want to make a change and an impact and do it the right way. And so like, that's awesome that you guys took the initiative in 2019 in October back then to actually get the thing rolling. I mean, I remember Kevin and we started this thing in like March of 2019. No, 2020.
We went video in 2020.
Oh, yeah, 20. Yeah. So we've been around for like 2 years, but I remember just getting it off and then you kind of start and then you figure out, oh, okay, so this is part of it. So it's always like a learning curve. You're like on this constant road of a learning curve, just figuring out how to do it and do it better.
There's a lot of adaptation for sure. You got to adapt and overcome a lot of things. I'm sure you can speak volume to that. A lot of scenarios are thrown at you quickly, and you got to adapt and overcome.
Yeah, you just have that. You got to have that like can do and like I'm gonna do it attitude. Like I've always kind of had that as well. Like for example, like being out here, I started acting in 2012. I got out to LA in 2014, but I was still going to school. During the summertime when I wasn't in school, I was still acting. And as an actor, it's so tough to get roles. Like I got sick of going in and auditioning for roles a lot. And then being put on a veil, which means like it's between you and maybe one or two other people, and then not booking for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Like it's such a competitive market. So even myself, like I started Pretty Not Bad Entertainment, which is a YouTube channel that I started doing sketches, like SNL style sketches, a little bit more with the writing and the producing and acting within my own, just making opportunities for yourself. That's something that you just have to do. Like eventually if you want to do something and things aren't working out in that way for you, you're going to figure it out. And I wasn't like a great actor when I started out either, if it wasn't for school and doing all the training and figuring this stuff out for myself and learning how to edit myself and learning how to do sound myself and color myself and putting all of that effort into that, I wouldn't be as good as an actor I am now. Like just being on set last night, just as a background actor, they're filming Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and it's going to be like Space Jam, where the cartoons are with the people, right? Okay. I'm just a background actor playing a SWAT guy, and I'm like listening to the director, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then they're going to come in this way, and I know where the camera frame is going to be, and I know that I'm going to be crossing camera frame. And at one point, I was just like, "Hey, do you want me to like pretend like I almost stepped on them?" And they're like, "No, don't do that." Like, obviously, that was a genius fucking idea, and they should have let me fucking do it. But there's more that comes into play with that because they've already got budgets established, and they already know what their animator want their animator to do. If I was the director, I'd be like, "Yeah, dude, that's pretty cool." But I'm still out here trying to figure it out and do stuff and make it happen.
I know you guys had some success with a horror film that you did, right?
Yeah, Orisha was our first horror film that we wrote and completed within like a 4-month time frame. We sent it through the 2020 Film Festival Gauntlet, and it won Best Horror in a bunch of different film festivals, LA Film Festival, Florence International Film Festival. I got a Best Actor nomination. Drew won Best Actor, even though he I think he put me in for that nomination, but he won it. But that's fine, that happens. But our female actress won Best Actress as well. It did really well, and I think that speaks measures to like what people can accomplish. I mean, everybody works differently together. I'm fortunate to have like run into Drew because he and I are able to write a script together or bounce ideas off of each other, and he'll be like, "No, this doesn't work," or I'll be like, "No, this doesn't work." Yeah. We listen to one another. Like both of us have experienced other projects in the past where some people just don't listen, and you don't get a really good product out of it, or you don't get the product that you thought you were going to get out of that project at the end of the day, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Especially in LA with a bunch of weirdos. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, especially in LA. And you're right, man. You spoke volume to it. It takes the right people and the right energy, connecting. I hear so many actors talk about, man, this project came together because the writing was so good. The cast was great. Everybody had just great chemistry and things kind of came together organically. That definitely separates the kind of scripted stuff from just real juicy content. And I see you got all your movie posters up there behind you, man. That's pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah. It's because we're narcissistic, so we just got to remind ourselves how awesome we are.
Well, at least you know that, and you're not a naive narcissist.
I think it looks cool. I think that's a great backdrop.
So, is horror stuff? Is horror stuff one of your favorite genres? Like, what would you say is your favorite genre to, create something in?
I think mine's like more crime drama, thriller drama, psychological dramas. Like those are the ones that I really like. Horror was good. Orisha was the first horror that I acted in. First horror that I wrote, co-wrote with Drew. Drew had the idea and pretty much told me it over a weekend when we were both doing background work on Tenet for good old Christian Nolan or Christopher Nolan. And we were doing background on Tenet, and he was like, "Hey man, I want to write a horror." We had weekends off. We were like on hold out in Palm Desert, and I was like, "All right, let's do it." So we dove in. Drew wrote the first draft. I made adjustments. He made adjustments. I think it went through only like 3 or 4 rewrites, and then we're like, "Yeah, this is it. This is good." And it's weird how some things just fell into place too. Like he wanted to touch on the Yoruba faith in Santeria, and he wasn't specifically writing for Shango, which was the Orisha that ends up possessing me in that film. But after his first draft, like then he started diving in to do more research about it, and like just like the colors of red and white, and the time of like 406, like 4 and 6, those numbers are directly related to Shango. And it's amazing how sometimes like you're writing for something and maybe it's like coming from your subconscious or whatever, but it just falls into place, and it's really nice and it's really cool,
That is awesome. What kind of dog you got?
Drew's dogs are Lady and Buddy, Belgian Malinois. I mean, we're roommates now and pretty much heterosexual life partners, so I've adopted them too. And then we got a pit mix named Buddy. Lady, come here, Lady. Come here. Come on. Do you want to meet the people?
This is what everybody deals with. My girlfriend does a lot of Zoom calls for her work, and like she says, like a good fourth of every conversation is people like showing off their like kids and dogs and stuff. That's a good look.
You guys heard her yeah, she's awesome. You guys heard her like drinking water in the background?
Yeah. That's what kind of gave it away. We were kind of like,
no, like there's getting his dick sucked right now. That's actually
that sounded like a good one.
Yeah. No, it
what kind
definitely
of dog
like,
you got? You ain't got a dog. That's
I'm like, oh damn, what is really going on?
Yeah, that would have been a reaction we would have had to improvise on there. But the furry friends, man, this is a first for our podcast. We've never had a dog on Discussion Combustion, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. That's what makes it fun about Zoom, though, man. I mean, we can connect from anywhere at any time. And did you see that Zoom video that came out last night of those lawyers down in Texas? Man, I laughed so hard when I saw that.
Oh no, I haven't seen that
the
yet.
filter.
No.
It's an old guy, and he has this cute cat filter stuck on his face, and it's for a court hearing or something like that. So it's like kind of a serious moment, and just the eyes on this cat are like looking around, super nervous. It's worth checking out.
Man, I laughed so hard. Giggle. It was one of my favorite Zoom fail moments. You'll probably see it. It blew up today, but yeah, I mean, he's chiming in for this important hearing in Texas, and he just can't get this cat filter off, and he's all like, "I'm here, Judge. I'm here. I'm not a cat."
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is
man.
good.
I wonder if he said he didn't do it on purpose, but he really did to get out of whatever like trouble he was in. Like, Your Honor, come on.
He's a good actor.
You gonna send this guy to jail? Yeah.
Like his voice, he played that so well. We were introduced to you because you met one of my best friends, Clint, when you were serving. So first I like to just, we support our troops here and we appreciate what you've done and going over there and doing that. So I think it's awesome because Clint, he's a great man and he introduces us to great people. So I'm really appreciative of that. And Was there anything that you learned though while serving that really helped benefit like your discipline for structure nowadays, or motivation to get the job done? Do you feel like you took some of that with you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's funny because a lot of I talk about this a lot in some other of the podcasts I've been in, but like the entertainment industry and the military are so similar in the fact that like you have a mission and you have to get it done, and there's all these other working parts that are trying to get the same mission done. Yeah, the definitely organizational skills that the military like instilled in me, I bring to my acting and producing and writing. And yeah, man, like it's just making yourself wake up every day and doing it, and setting the time aside to do it.
So what time do you get up every morning?
My body still wakes me up early, but I was like that before the military too. So like I'm still getting up around like 6:37. Lately with COVID, I have been. I'm sure everyone's going to relate to this. Just you wake up and then you go back to sleep because you're like, oh, there's nothing. There's no purpose. But yeah, don't commit suicide. It's not good. But yeah, man, like I'm still getting up around 6, 7, but then go back to sleep, and then getting up around 9, walking the dogs and doing what I gotta do to get the day done. Yeah.
I've been really trying to, and I haven't had one successful day yet, but we got a stationary bike not too long ago, like 9 weeks ago, and I've been just in my mind just really wanting to get up at 6, stretch for 20, ride for 30, shower, start my day. I haven't done it once, but like I keep thinking about it, man. I don't know what it is, because I get up at 7 and I start my day like, why is just one more hour such like a big deal?
It's crucial.
Yeah.
That makes a difference of how you're going to perform. I feel like I'm not much of a morning person. I don't know about you, Justin, but I'll get up early when I have somewhere to be, things to do, but I'm not the happiest about it. I like to drink beer. I stay up too late, and it really starts to affect me, Yeah.
No, I like getting up in the morning. It's funny that you say that, like, when your mind, you think about doing something and your mind wants you to do it. That's like your subconscious trying to tell you, like, you need to, right? Especially when you're sitting at home and playing video games and not doing anything and just like, being sedentary and just gaining that weight. Your subconscious gets to a point where it's at a comfortable place and it wants you to be there. So when you're unhappy, that's when you start thinking about like, oh, maybe I should do some push-ups right now. But then you just keep doing that thumb workout, scrolling on Instagram or whatever you're doing. But yeah, never had to drink coffee. I get up, I'm ready to like run a marathon. Even though I've never run a marathon, I've done a half marathon, didn't train for it. And then they were like, here's a free day pass at Disney. And I was like, I can't walk. Why can I like this at a different time? This sucks.
You get a Segway, riding that thing around the park.
Yeah.
I think 2020 into 2021 now has definitely set almost an acceptable lifestyle now where people can just sit home and watch Netflix, working from home, eating from home, door dashing from home, all that stuff. There's no reason to go out anymore. There's no events. There's really nothing to do. And man, I'm just ready to get back to some concerts and some live stuff.
Yeah. I've been making a point to like, I'm not really going to the grocery store to like stock the fridge, but like there's places that are like a mile down the street, and I'll make it a point to walk to get food, to force myself to get out the house, And I think that's good and important. You gotta,
that is, man.
Otherwise you go crazy in your freaking house, man. You're just sitting there and you're like, I gotta do something. And you're like typing on your fucking computer and you're like, and then you just fucking go nuts. And then you're like,
dude, yeah. I've always kind of had rhythmic talking Tourette's where I just start doing some stuff. But I'll find myself like being on a device, leaving that device, and then being like, well, what else am I going to do? And then you're back on the same device, and it's divisive, it's like, it's crazy. And so it's really good for us to like, I think that's really important, is just doing a walk, just giving yourself 30 minutes to get outside. It's free. It's healthy. It's going to rejuvenate you a little bit. Especially if you got like actual trees and it's not just a concrete jungle. Like if you actually have like a nice walking path, that's preferred. But one thing that we've talked about on the show a couple times, and that I kind of wanted to bring up again today, because I think it's important for people to remind themselves of the power of their subconscious, which you had mentioned. Your subconscious is reaching out to you. And I'm assuming you're familiar with like affirmations and things of that nature, like brain training, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like what is it? 30 days. It takes 30 days to make a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Like right before the new year, and then through the new year, I did 17 days where I like made it a point to get 10,000 steps. And I should have made that 30 days because I stopped doing that. So maybe I should start that again too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a challenge, and being healthy mentally and physically is a challenge. And we all have to, hold ourselves accountable to a certain extent, I feel like. And so one thing that really helped me grow myself, from an adolescent to now is just using positive affirmations. And really it's just a small sentence or phrase, really simple, like I have a strong, healthy mind, strong, healthy body. And I'll just repeat that for like, a minute. But then also with your affirmation, you want to visualize it. So I would visualize, what's my strong, healthy mind like? What's my strong, healthy body like? And then also with the visualization, you want to seed, which is basically feeling the emotion of achieving that affirmation. So like, how do I feel with a healthy mind and healthy body? So if you could do those three things, have a positive sentence or phrase that you could repeat, it's simple. You could see it in your mind and you can feel it like you've already accomplished the goal, then you're going to be able to like start writing your own life and manifesting who you are. And I just think it's important to kind of rehash that and bring that up because, I'm constantly reminding myself to do it. And I feel like if everybody could, do that and try to treat themselves a little bit better with affirmation, it's one way to help.
Yeah. I mean, you could also like, I would add the like leaning on your buddies too, because being accountable for yourself is a great thing. But one thing like I noticed when I was transitioning out of the military is like, I'm more willing and likely to get up and do something if I'm doing it for somebody else. Just like, I got, when I was a staff sergeant, was the highest rank that I achieved. I was in charge of a squad. But like knowing that I had to get up to set the example for somebody else, obviously you kind of lose that unless you transition into a job where you're a manager or something like that. But having your buddies to be like, hey man, like, you know what, I haven't been, feeling up lately, so I need you to like, step up to the plate. Like I have a bunch of buddies that I deployed with, and my second deployment in 2005, 2006 with 101st was like the worst deployment. A lot of us have post-traumatic stress from that, and we've had buddies commit suicide possibly from that deployment, but also other experiences that they encountered overseas too, even after that deployment. But like we set up the system and this pact, like hey, if we're having those negative thoughts, we'll reach out to one another before we reach out to the 1-800 number. The 1-800 number is like the last resort because those guys are probably reading off the script anyway. You want to reach out to somebody who understands you, who understands where your mindset may be, or because they've been there as well. And yeah, like I've had buddies like, I'm like, hey man, freaking haven't been feeling it lately. I need you to like, and I know that they have to get up at a certain time of the day, so they'll call me and make sure I get up and yell at me. They're like, come on, man, motivate you.
Yeah, I need people like that in my life, man, for sure. And sorry to hear about some of the losses that you've experienced. Beyond blood is something that I believe in. I have it tattooed on my arm. Friends and family make you the richest man. There's so many times where I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for my buddies. Arthur and I, great friends. These guys, it's so important to maintain those friendships and to continue to add to them. I feel like, my buddies are there for me. I'm there for them, kind of stuff. And it does, man. It really speaks volume to, the character of the people you surround yourself with, because they're, if you start going off the rails, they'll kind of dial you back in. If they go off the rails, same thing. It's so important. I feel like it's one of the things I value the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really feel like, oh wait, I just had it. It was, I got a would you rather. Whenever I lose my train of thought, I'm just going to throw one of these out. I made some custom would you rathers for you here.
All right.
And some of them have to do with kind of what you're doing in life right now. Some of them have nothing to do with that. So I'm going to ask one that's like, it's more like, what would you rather? I'll just ask it. So if you had to pick between having an insomnia every single night or having narcolepsy every day, which one would you pick?
I would go with narcolepsy because like at least my friends would get some good videos out of it, you know. Just be like, hey, we're walking down the street and then freaking boom, you know.
I mean, I wonder, do people who have that, do they like feel it coming on? Do they feel the sleep coming on before it happens? Or
I don't know. I always think of that movie Deuce Bigalow when doesn't he end up hooking up with a girl that's got narcolepsy and she's just falling asleep all the time and all these weird, like falling asleep in her soup bowl and all this stuff. That's what I think of. Yeah, it was a great movie. But I'll tell you this, man, I have insomnia as it is. I don't sleep. You're probably a lot of the same way. You know, you're a busy guy working through the night. I don't do well with sleep. So if I have an opportunity to sleep, I'm taking narcolepsy.
Taking narcolepsy?
Yeah.
I mean, what if you're driving? Sense. Can you get a license if you're driving? I don't
think so. I think if you're narcoleptic, you're not allowed to have a licenence. I was thinking about that. It was weird. I was thinking about that in the drive back early this morning at 3 a.m. from set. I was like, oh man, what if I fall asleep at the wheel? Because I've done it before in the military. We went to Nashville to like party. This was before I drank. I was like, I didn't drink until I turned 21. All my buddies in the military was like, you got to have a beer with us. And I was like, I don't know. Because my grandma gave my sister and I beer when we were like kids because she was supposed to watch us, but she didn't want to watch us. She wanted us to fall asleep so she could do whatever she wanted to do. Okay. Great woman though. Not with us anymore, unfortunately. I loved her to death. But yeah, like I took a sip of the beer and I was like, beer's not for me. And then I eventually like got a taste for beer. I like beer now. But at the time, like they're like, oh, you gotta have a drink with us. And I was like, I haven't had liquor yet. I'll have liquor. So like my first drink was a rum and coke, and I was like, this is delicious. I had one,
drank
and
it
I
all
was
fast.
But before that, when we were in Nashville, and I was like, I'll DD because I don't drink or whatever. I was falling asleep at the wheel. My buddy Miguel was driving behind me in his Dodge Neon, and I was driving my buddy's car because he insisted to drive his car. He was like, no, just drive mine. I was like, well, I could take my Saturn Ion, man. It's brand new. It's a Saturn. It's so cool. It was a mom car, but whatever. But I ended up crashing his car because it was a block from the barracks. I did okay the whole way because Miguel was like flashing his lights every once in a while to keep me away because he saw that I was like swerving. And then we get to the post. Miguel goes ahead of me. He should have stayed behind me. This is really his fault, Miguel. Piece of crap.
Damn it, Miguel.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude? And he thought I was good. And then I fall asleep at the wheel. I go off the road. I skidded a stop sign, took out my buddy's freaking passenger view mirror. My other buddy was sleeping, wakes up, my buddy Fam, and he starts laughing because he thought I did this on purpose. Like I swear, I swerved the car back on the road, and I'm like, this was totally on purpose. The dude's car, who it was, he was my team leader, fucking Jean. He slept through it. We get to the barracks, I park, I wake him up, I'm like, hey man, I hit a step sign. Sorry, whatever. He gets livid, flips out, but he's like, don't worry about it, man. You're doing the right thing. This is bullshit, but whatever. Everyone goes back to the rooms. I go back to my room. The MPs knock on my door because somebody was behind me and they thought I was drinking and driving. So they were like, this guy's a piece of crap. Look at him. And then that sucked because I got detained, taken to the MP station, and my squad leader came to come pick me up, and he had to drive from Nashville because he lived in Nashville. I thought he was gonna fucking tear my head off, but he was like, "Good job, you saved some lives, but don't fall asleep at the wheel anymore." But I didn't get any charges against me, which was cool. No Article 15 or nothing like that. So it was nice.
That is good.
Nice. So that was hopefully the one and only time you fell asleep behind the wheel.
Yeah. After that, I'm like, getting energy drinks but last night I was feeling tired and I was like, "Fuck, man. What if I fall asleep? I'll probably die." And then Drew will have to go on without me.
Is that when you ate the donuts? no sugar,
no, I ate
no
donuts
sugar rush?
beforehand. I think the donuts are what kept me alive. You know, kept me awake. It was like,
That
yeah,
sugar
I had
carb
3
rush.
donuts. Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, thanks for throwing out that to the world. I'm
Hey.
telling everybody that I ate donuts. I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to be working on my muscles.
Hey,
No,
you
it's
know,
fine.
muscles need fat too, man. You know, everything needs a little extra. You know, it's like the gum. You know, it's extra. I thought I was gonna have a better joke there. It fell apart mid sentence, but I'm choosing insomnia, man, because
Are you?
I don't want to fall asleep during the middle of the day, like, and I feel like I don't know, but I've never experienced insomnia. Like, you have to just be so tired every day if you can never actually sleep. Like, or are you just in this like zone of sleep deprivation that's like a great high? Like,
I don't think so, man. The anytime I have insomnia, it's not pleasant, because the thing is I want to sleep. So, you know, you're laying there, you're in bed. I don't know if you can relate to this or not, Justin, but the mind just starts going. The whole day's playing back. You hear in the music, you heard on the radio on the drive home. You're thinking about conversations you had. I hate it.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of insomnia either. I think about some really bad stuff with insomnia because of my experiences. So
I was going to say at the same time, maybe that
for sure.
as a creator and a writer, do you ever like wake up in the middle of the night, like, man, I'm going to add to the script right now. I just thought of something. Does that ever happen?
I used to journal my dreams when they were like really bad, and then it would make me have more vivid dreams. So I stopped doing that. But I was having some wild dreams, like I remember one that I wrote down where like I was stuck in a video game, and I was so upset because all my other buddies were there, army buddies, but I was upset because we had to fight all these like skeletons and shit, and all I wanted was a sword. But my weapon was a huge freaking toothbrush. And it's like, what am I supposed to do? Like brush the bones of these freaking skeletons? This is terrible. And then one of my buddies died, who I wasn't that close with in the military, but like I woke up sad as fuck, you know. Like, but yeah, I don't know. Like that'd be interesting. I should put some of those in the scripts. They would require a higher budget than what we have for the scripts that we're executing right now. But yeah. As soon as we get picked up, you'll see some crazy video game killing of skeletons with toothbrushes. It's gonna happen.
You know, people say, how do they come up with this shit? And you'll be like, I dreamt it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's makes for great storylines, right? You know, so when I see a skeleton get taken out by a toothbrush, I'll know where that idea came from, Justin.
Yeah,
dude, a toothbrush could be deadly. You know, you could like, especially a big one, you could take like one of the bristles and use that to like, you know, try to choke something, or you could use it like a big spear, you know, you could poke stuff with it, you know, or just a big old club. Or if people are afraid of dental hygiene, you just hold it.
I don't know about all that. Maybe
but skeletons probably aren't scared of dental hygiene, you know, but I got one more would you rather here. And sometimes my hands get clammy and then it won't use my fingerprint scanner.
Yeah, I noticed that when we were sharing the PlayStation controller last week and Art came by, we were kind of handing the controller back and forth. And man, you're one of those warm, you know, moist controller holders, bro. What's going on with that?
I'm into what I'm doing, and my pores express that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. It was a fun game. So, okay. So if you had to pick, you could only act, okay? No directing or anything like that. So if you had to pick, would you rather do TV shows the rest of your life or movies the rest of your life?
You kind of fell off there. I don't know what happened.
Oh no, you're okay. Are we back?
That's not good. Yeah, I think we're good now.
Can you hear us?
Possibly. Yeah.
So I was saying if you could only you had to act, would you prefer to only act in movies for the rest of your life or TV shows for the rest of your life?
I would say TV shows, man. I would want to get on a show like Supernatural that had a 15 season run. You know what I mean? Like that,
for sure.
That I love that show too. It was really good. Although I felt like, what's the guy's name? Jared Padalecki. I think his acting wasn't that great. I mean, guess he's getting stuff. He's getting crap right now with his new show, Walker, Texas Ranger, and it's not that great or whatever. He's more of a supporting actor, and he needs that other actor for that chemistry. I feel like I don't know if that's the reason for it or whatever, but
so TV shows you're taking?
I would do TV shows 100%. And I would remake Supernatural with just me playing every other character. I'm Bobby, I'm Dean, I'm Sam, I'm the dad.
I never watched Supernatural. I heard a lot of good things, man. A lot of people were always stoked about new seasons.
It's good.
I've heard nothing but good things. I'll tell you the show I just got done getting caught up on, Justin. I don't know if you've seen it, but Yellowstone over there on the Paramount Network.
Oh, no. Right now I'm currently watching Your Honor and WandaVision with Drew. Those are the two shows that I'm really watching right now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I started WandaVision. I know I only watched the first episode, so I didn't give it enough. I got to keep watching that. But yeah, Yellowstone, I'm getting caught up with Kevin.
Dude. It's so good.
It's like a Soprano, and you described it this way, like a Sopranos, but like on the farm. Because they have
the drama part of it.
Yeah, it's a dramatic show, and you're just like, oh shit, or oh damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's always some good stuff to binge watch, and it's like, what's the best thing to binge watch though? Like, what can you watch that is going to stimulate you? And for me, and for learning, like documentaries, and especially of geographical locations, I love that shit. That's some of my top watching.
Well, I never really gotten into documentaries. I mean, every once in a while I'll watch one and it's pretty good, but I'm more like stimulated by it, like shows like Sneaky Pete. Sneaky Pete was really well written. Your Honor is fucking really well written, even though it's getting bad reviews. People are saying like, oh, it's all the same tropes, but I don't know. I think Bryan Cranston's freaking brilliant. Really, really good actor. And he's also one of the executive producers for Sneaky Pete. But Supernatural's fun. It's got a lot of good elements where the relationships are what you like relate to and latch on to. I like shows like that.
Yeah,
and everybody's got their own thing, man. Everyone's got their own flavor. That's why I don't take too much into like critic reviews, whether it's video games, movies, TVs. I like to make my own kind of review about it, because there's times where I'll recommend shows and movies to people and they're like, didn't like it, and then vice versa. People are like, you got to sit down and watch this. So I think it's cool. It's an art, and whatever you're into, there's so much available now, so much that we can stream at our fingertips. I think it's cool what you're doing, man. I'm actually looking forward to when we get done. I'm gonna be watching some of your films, man.
Hell yeah, sweet. Yeah, they're available on Amazon Prime. Heist and Orisha are both on Amazon Prime. The Spread won't be out until next year because we're not allowed to release it while it's doing the film festival run for rules or whatever. We're hoping to get that one into Sundance. Fingers crossed, TIFF as well. It's just difficult to get into those film festivals if you don't have any like named actors or named directors or producers attached to it, which is like kind of lame. But I guess it's all about that club. You got to be part of the club. We're not part of the club yet, so we're trying.
You're gonna shoehorn your ass in there. Fucking, that's what Kevin and I are trying to do, man. We're just two Joe Schmoes out here that happen to have a good conversation with each other and some good questions to ask, and we get to talk to awesome people like you. But like, we're just trying to do it, man. And then algorithms change. Like, it's difficult, and you have to be persistent. And that's the thing. So one of our things that if you apply it to, I feel like it will only do but good for your business. And that is one thing we apply is if we could do 3 things every single week, or whenever you're doing your thing, if you could apply 3 things every single time, and that's just to have consistency with how you're doing it, good quality, and good content. Like if you could check those 3 boxes,
that's the CCQ, man. That's what we try to live by. And it's definitely been showing some results. It goes back to what you were talking about earlier, man. Just getting up and hammering at it and just getting after it. You have what you get out, what you put in. And I think I learn that more and more every week. And I'm sure you can attest that as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, you're going to find yourself in situations where you might want to feel like giving up, but you just, you shouldn't. And that's where like your friends will leaning on your friends will help you out and support you and stuff like that. Like I went to prison in the military. So after my second deployment, or during my second deployment, I was put in a situation where I had to make a decision, and it was between a rock and a hard place. And I did what I felt was right, despite being ordered to do it. People were like, "Oh, you're just following orders." Like, yeah, but when you're in the military, you still kind of have your own mind and to make decisions. So it was during a raid, a huge operation called Operation Iron Triangle. It's all over the internet. I'm sure you read about it, stuff like that. Colonel Steele, the same Captain Steele from Black Hawk Down, was our brigade commander in the Rockessance in the 101st. And we were on a mission to go eliminate all military-aged males on a series of objectives. The first objective we got to was a dry hole. We were also working jointly with the Iraqi army, and this was like one of the first missions we were like trying to show them, like, this is what we do, this is what you need to do too. The second objective was a dry hole as well. Or no, second objective. There was a guy in the window. He was holding an AK. Everybody shot him down. We ran around the house to enter and clear the house because that's where the E&E was. And as we're clearing the house, the military intelligence told us there were not going to be any women and children on these series of objectives because it was a known training camp for Al Qaeda. We're clearing the house, and there's 3 guys cowering behind 2 females, and we're like, well, we're not going to shoot to kill, obviously, right now, because what the fuck, we see females. But we detained them. We had our interpreter there. We asked them what they were doing. They said that they were farmers, but it was May time frame. If they were farmers, they would have had some agriculture growing. They didn't. We did a thorough search of their house. They didn't have any farming equipment, but they did have AK parts, ammo, and bomb making materials. So we're like, oh, well, you guys are bad, but this is like 2005. This is when the war was getting really political, and they wanted us to take pictures of what you find with who you find to send them to the Iraqi government so that they can try them and pretty much establish a government over there, something solid. But 3 guys on my squad made a poor decision to unjustly shoot these guys after calling up that we had them detained. In when they called it up, the command didn't understand the circumstances of the females being there or whatnot. So they were like, why are these guys alive? My squad leader he was a good squad leader, but he was just like, this was his 3rd deployment, and he'd done and seen some stuff already too. So I think just something snapped, and he made a bad call. And he was like, yeah, we're gonna kill these guys anyway. And I thought they were just talking shit, like kill. That's kind of how military and infantry guys talk specifically. And they unjustly shot these guys. I ran up on the aftermath because I didn't think they were going to do it. I went back to the landing zone to pack up gear, getting ready to go. We called for the medic. When I got to the front of the house, the 3 guys were dead and dying on the ground. The medic came up. The one guy was puking up blood profusely. The other one was taking a breath every couple seconds. The other one didn't have a head anymore. And when the medic came up, the guy that was puking up blood had expired. The guy that was still taking a breath every couple of seconds was still taking a breath. And then he checked him out, and he was like, I can't do anything for him. The medic didn't know what was happening either. This was like when the stuff was said about like kill, the medic wasn't there for that. He was somewhere else on the objective. And at that point, so the 3 guys punched and cut each other to make this like story look more legit. Yeah. And then so the medic went to go aid those guys who were soldiers, and I was standing there next to this other guy, once detainee. The squad leader was like, put him out of his misery after the medic said there's nothing you can do for him, and like I had the choice not to do it, but I felt like it was the right thing to do despite the circumstances of like terrorist or not, this dude's human, and he's in a position that he's not supposed to be in. Once he's detained, he's a non-combative, and so I did what I felt was right. And then that ended up in a court martial, and me going through a court martial and going to jail. And then I was supposed to, I wasn't kicked out at my court court-martial during the sentencing phase because people came and spoke on my behalf.
Yeah.
I wasn't put in pretrial confinement either. So instead, they moved me from Charlie Company to HHC, and they were like, this guy like did something that was illegal, but let's just keep an eye on him. Obviously, there's mitigating circumstances surrounding his decisions, but that helped me out in my court-martial too, because I'm at this new unit and people are like, I don't know, and like CNN and all these other media outlets were reporting on it. Like I remember being in the DFAC in Iraq and like looking up and seeing my MySpace back when MySpace was cool. My MySpace picture was like on, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm just eating, but hope nobody recognizes that. What the fuck? But I wasn't kicked out. And like being at this new unit, they saw my work ethic and they're like, oh, this guy was just the wrong place at the wrong time in the right uniform. But, did what he thought was right. I probably would have did the same thing. A lot of people had told me. So the judge was like, all right, I'm just going to send you to jail, but I'm taking all your rank too. So I was a specialist, got demoted to E1, and then you'll do your time, go back to your unit and whatever, continue your service. But there's like some stipulation, some regulation written somewhere that if you get sentenced to 4 months or more confinement in the military, it's an automatic general discharge. You get sent to a processing company whose sole purpose is to like catch people who have gone AWOL and process them out of the military, or people in my situation getting out of prison, they go to this processing company and they just do the paperwork and kick you out. But I fought that battle and I was like, well, hold on, like this is like double jeopardy. And like the guy I was talking to, Major Pitcher, he was kind of a prick and he was like, fuck you, man, like you the military wanted something done to you, so we're doing something. I'm like, something did happen to me. I went to jail, I did my time, I'm supposed to go back to my unit. And he was like, well, if you could get them to say like they want you back, then I'll send you back to your unit. So I emailed the sergeant major who didn't really know me, and I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be a tough sell. But I included letters of recommendation. I had other people at the unit call them, and I was like, hey, can you go talk to this guy? He emailed the major back and was like, hey, like a lot of people are saying good things about him. I don't think it's smart to bring him back to the Rakutans. It's probably just to keep him in the military and send him somewhere else. At that point, the major was like, no, dude, like that wasn't the deal. The deal was like, he wants you back. I send you there. And I'm like, hold on, man. Like he's like, I'm going to sit on it overnight and I'll make up my mind and I'll let you know. But just be ready to get kicked out of the military and you'll go back to Buffalo or do whatever you want to do. I'm like, this sucks, man. Cause like, I really enjoyed serving my country. Like I didn't join the military to become a shitbag and get kicked out, But so overnight, I guess through word of mouth, one of the other prosecutors, because there were 3 prosecutors in my case. One I maintained friendship with while I was in, because he sent me a letter after after my court martial was over, saying like, hey man, I hope that you don't have any bad blood against me or whatever. But I had a job to do and I was doing my job. And I was like, yeah, I totally understand. He's because in his letter he wrote, I think what you went through kind of sucked. And the military almost used you as a scapegoat for whatever reason. A lot of people would have done the same thing that you did based on the circumstances of what happened.
Yeah. So
one of the other prosecutors found out what I was going through with the potential general discharge through word of mouth and emailed this major on a whim saying like, hey, like it's not hard to find anyone to say that the guy I'm prosecuting is a shitbag, but it wasn't this guy's case. I think he's got more to give the military. So that's what saved me. His name was Major Mackey. And so at that point, the next morning, the freaking major brought me back in. He's like, all right, dude, like the guy that put you in jail wrote you a letter of recommendation to stay in the military. Can't really kick you out with this. I can't send you anywhere because you only got 6 months to make up to the military. You'll stay here and work for us, and you'll get out with honorable discharge. And I was like, and the first sergeant, who was an MP first sergeant. So this processing company only consisted of a major, a first sergeant. Everybody else was civilian contractors who were really good at paperwork. But the first sergeant, like, he like throughout this time, this is like a couple month process. Throughout this time, like he would like see me in the mornings and just like look at me, and I'm like, I had no clue like what to take from it or whatever. But at that point, I was like, no, like I want to re-enlist. And the first sergeant was like, all right, dude, I've had to keep my mouth shut this whole time because like it's my job to support the commander. The commander wanted to discharge you, but now that we're retaining you, I'm gonna fucking speak my mind. He's like, you want to re-enlist after what the Army put you through? Like they pretty much fucked you in the ass with a big green weenie. And I was like, well, I don't want to get out of the military as a E1, you know, with an honorable discharge. Like I came in as an E3. Like I got a buddy to join. I did like all the prerequisite testing and stuff like that, so I could go in the military at the highest rank that I could. I'm like, how's that going to look on a resume? Like you went in the military as an E3 and you came out of E1. Why'd you go the opposite way in rank? Well, it's an honorable discharge, so well, shut the fuck up. I know. And then he was like, all right, man, like that's pretty admirable. That's fucking badass. He illegally promoted me twice. He never illegally promoted me. He legally promoed me twice.
Yeah. I tongue twist my words too sometimes, man. It happens.
Yeah, exactly. And then he was like, all right, dude, I can't get you because your rank so low. I can't get you a choice of duty station. You're not going to get a bonus. Are you sure you want to re-enlist? And I was like, yeah, I'll just do 2 years in the military. And then I'll re-enlist like again, and then I'll be able to get a bonus and stuff like that. And then I got Fort Drum orders after I did that. And then I was trying to leave Fort Knox to go to Drum early. I was like, oh, can I just like get an early report date or whatever? And the first sergeant pulled me aside at that point. And he's like, all right, dude, check this out. What do you do here? Like break down your day. I was like, all right, well, you guys don't do organized PT, but I get up in the morning. I still do I do PT on my own. He's like, yeah, I know. I see that. I'm like, and then I'll probably like report to you guys at 9 a.m. and I'm off by 11 a.m. And then I go do correspondence courses at the library because I want to make sure I get like promotion point. I want to get promoted like fast. And he's like, yeah, you're not going to get a fucking sham job like this again. I know you want to go back to the line unit, your infantry, you're eager to get back. Just stay here and enjoy the time. Trust me, you're not going to get a sham job like this again. And I'll try to send you to WLC and get you your specialist rank. So you're more squared away reporting to your next duty station, which he wasn't able to do. I guess he pulled too many strings. Yeah, he was pulling strings. It wasn't illegal. He was just when he promoted me, you know? And so I did that. I was like, all right, cool. And then, yeah, I reported to Drum as an E3 with a combat patch, a CIB, air assault wings, and people were like, what's going on with you? Oh, you must be a shitbag. And then I had to explain that whole story to them. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm eligible for promotion for E4. If you guys want to like put that in for me. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't know you. So I had to like reprove myself to this new unit, which was interesting because I did that really fast. And I went from the day I got out of prison, 2 years and 2 months later, I was at E6. So my journey in the military was E3, E4, E3, E4, E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, and then I got out. So it's like a pretty cool story, I think.
Well, for sure. And I just, I want to say this because I have a lot of I never served, but I got a lot of friends that have served. And, I hear that it's difficult, man. Like, coming out and reintroducing yourself to civilian life is not easy. And so I want to, commend you for sharing that with everybody, especially for all the vets out there that are listening, because I think it's an important process of digesting life because, we have to, at the end of the day, feel good about ourselves. And so for you to share that story is it's important for everybody to hear. Because it shows that it's okay to share these stories and rehash those bad times, or else it just digs at you. Like you gotta find a way to let it go somehow,
Yeah, really, absolutely, man. I mean, that's we love supporting our vets here on this show, and appreciate you sharing that story with us, man. My thought that whole time was, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm on a watching a movie right now. That seems like, has that ever crossed your mind? Yeah. Your story would make for a great script.
100%. I've sat down to try to write a book about it, but it got me like extremely depressed because I was like reliving a lot of these experiences. I think the time will come when it's right to make that a movie. I think that might be probably my magnum opus when I'm like really broken into the business and stuff like that. And the way I would do it very carefully, like I would make the movie in a way that showcases what war does to certain people. Because I'm still friends with some of these guys. The two of the three, one of them who unjustly shot these guys. Like he was a piece of crap and just joined the army because he played too many video games, I think. But I'm still friends with the other two, and we still talk. I probably talk to one more than the other. The other one kind of falls off the face of the earth sometimes. But when you're at war, war's hell, man. It's like you see you see your buddies getting blown up, you see other units getting blown up, and you having to react to that stuff. It changes how you think about, like, I mean, yeah, Geneva Conventions are there for a reason and whatnot. But if I made a movie about it, I would showcase like why people start to change and make different decisions in war, you know?
I think that would be a great psychological thriller and eye opener into something that, you know, is ever present. Like there's always a conflict going on, you know? So, So one thing we like to ask all of our people that come on is, you know, if you had a piece of advice to give to humanity to help them have a better mentality tomorrow or help them better themselves in the future, what would that one piece of advice be?
Like we all go through like trials and tribulations, and it's easy to like fall back into a rut. I feel like, you know, like it's easier to let negativity like consume you. And when that happens, I feel like we forget that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, whether or not you see it, whether how dark your tunnel is currently. There's a light at the end of it. Like I recently went through a breakup 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? 2019. I went through a breakup where I was contemplating suicide. I almost did it. Called one of my buddies. He pulled me out of it, which was good. And other buddies too, like stepped to the plate and saw how depressed I was. And one of them, like in this instance, gave me some sound advice. My buddy Alan, he said, there will be other girls who love you, know? Obviously this one disrespected and disregarded that love, but there will be more, you know, that it's important to realize that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? There's no reason to make a permanent decision for a temporary problem, is what the military says, you know, in regards to suicide. Have your friends, reach out to your friends. If they don't pick up, it doesn't, and you're in a dark place, it doesn't mean that they don't care for you. Because people get busy, you know? And that's why, like, my group of friends, it's easy for us we have like this alert roster almost, because we've all been through like very troubling times and things like that. So when we find ourselves in that rut, we've made a pact to go through the alert roster. And if for whatever reason, there's like 9 of us in this thing, if for whatever reason 9 people don't answer, then the last resort is that 1-800 number, you know, get yourself help, you know?
For sure. So yeah, man, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, because I've read that before, I've slightly experienced it before, how it's easy for the negatives to kind of take hold of you. It's almost like a cyclone. Like it's easier to get sucked into negative thought process and self-doubt and all those things can just completely be overbearing on somebody's day, where any little thing that you do, you're questioning if it's the right thing to do because you don't have faith in yourself. So I definitely agree with that point. And also just to, you know, have a piece of hope, you know, and and, you know, try to find the light. You know, if you can't see the light, like you're saying, if your tunnel is dark, you know, then try to make some light or something to help you get through it, because we can all achieve great things. And I think every human being is somebody who has something to contribute to somebody. Like, all of us are equal, you know, and within that, we all feel pain and joy. And so I think that's really critical, though. Just, you know, let's try to focus on the light, because it's always going to get better. Like, why make a permanent decision on something that's temporary? Like, it's true.
Yeah. And I've been there, man. I can relate. I've been in those dark spots. You know, I've been down Suicide Avenue. I know what that looks like. You know, in my adolescence, I dealt with that a lot. You know, and those life-changing moments really are where it's time to shine. You know, you dig down, you dig deep, figure out what's going on. The people around you come together. Those are the reminders for me when I look back on those moments. They're terrible. You know, I got real deep into alcohol, and that's when my friends came through. And that's when I realized family and friends do make you the richest man. And, man, you got a lot of good things going now. You know, you got your film production, you know, a lot of great things out there, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and I'm proud of all of it. And, I've only like improved over time. I'm only going to continue to improve, you know, and everyone can take from that. The more you work on yourself and your art and your craft, the better you're going to get at it. So pick something and roll with it. Even if it's an OnlyFans account, you know, if you're really like struggling, just make an OnlyFans account. I mean, guys, you can masturbate on camera. I was a webcam model for 3 days and made $1 in tips because I showed my butt. And then turned out to be a guy that I was talking to, and I kicked him out. And I came back in and kicked him out. But that webcam site still owes me 60 cents because I think you get 60% and they get 40%. But man,
damn, I didn't know that. I never explored the OnlyFans. I've heard about it, but man, it sounds like those guys owe you some money, man. I'd be fired up.
It sounds like people are fucking.
This was webcam. This was webcams.com. This is way before.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Still kind of the same thing now, because everybody, you know, is a web star now from their house with cameras and stuff. People are making money, putting their content out there, and people are hungry for money. They'll do whatever it takes, and we have the reach to do it. But man, have you ever thought about doing a podcast yourself, Justin? You'd be good at it, man. You're a good talker.
No.
That's a good answer.
Be short with that. No. Yeah.
He's doing his creative thing already, Kevin.
I know, but I just think because me listening to you talk, man, I'd be like, man, I would tune into this. This guy's got a lot of great stories. He's got a lot of good innovation. He can talk about the movie business. You know, I think podcasting.
Or yeah, that would take up too much time. Then
it does, man.
Take time away from writing.
I hear it. You got to stick to what you're passionate at. You're obviously good at what you're doing.
Tomorrow we're filming another sketch tomorrow for combat veterans. So it's like, if we did a podcast, we wouldn't have a combat veteran. And then, you know.
For sure. Well, we like what you're doing, man. I mean, this was one of the most real episodes we've had in a minute. And, you know, we just really want to accomplish, you know, having an organic conversation, getting to know somebody. And man, we just really appreciate you sharing your time with us and you know, sharing your stories with us, and you're coming on again. We do have repeat guests, and we're going to get you back on here, see how your year's been treating you, you know, see what hurdles you've accomplished, you know, in the meantime, man. And I like to say believe and achieve for a hashtag. So my believe and achieve for this week, I just kind of want to tie back into the affirmations. You know, you believe in saying something positive to yourself. You know, like it's important to remind ourselves of something positive, like, you know, anything, like I'm a hard worker, or, you know, I kick ass on folding my laundry, whatever it is, you know, find that strength there. So believe in, you know, complimenting yourself and having words of praise for yourself, and achieve it by just trying to do it, you know, 5 times a day for just a week, you know. So that's my believe and achieve hashtag. Do you have a hashtag or anything we could throw in or to help direct people to you?
Oh yeah, no, you can check me out on Instagram at Juston RG JUSTON, because my dad was drunk and couldn't draw a straight line, so that's why my name is spelled with an O, not an I. And I'm on Facebook as Justin Graber is my acting page. IMDb, check out my IMDb. because I guess all they care about these days are numbers. And the more people that visit my IMDb page, then the higher my star rating will go, and then maybe I'll get discovered, and then I'll thank all my fans for that, and they'll be great. And I'll say that when I win an Oscar, I'm like, thank you to all the people who visited my IMDb page, because apparently that's all that matters to these casting directors these days.
Well, hopefully we can get some more people checking that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll send them your way, man.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I'm going to be checking out some of your films. Amazon Prime, you said, is where I can go watch them.
Yeah, best way to find those is to Google, or when you're in the Amazon Prime search bar, just type in Juston Graber or Drew Anthony, and those will pop up. Because, Orisha will probably be the easiest to find because of the name. But Heist, I guess there's like 17 different movies called Heist. So, but yeah, Heist is nice. People like Heist. It's like a 4 episodic serial that's 4 episodes long.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, we'll definitely give it a watch, man. And if you plan on being in Denver or you come through this way, it'd be cool to have you in studio. We'll get you to sign the guest wall while you're here if you ever come through the Mile High City. But yeah, other than that, man, thanks for taking some time out of your night to spend with us. I hope you can get some rest. I'm gonna try and do the same. Justin, it's been good chatting with you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you. Bro, I love the strength. I love what's happening. It's inspiring. So I hope everybody out there feels the energy. It's not going to be easy to accomplish the hard thing. When you feel like giving up, like you said don't give up at that point. And the reason why is because right around the next corner is the thing you've been trying to capture. So if you could just go through that push yourself a little bit further, that's where the fucking the promised land is, man.
Yep, yeah, absolutely, man. All right, Justin, it's been good spending a little bit of time with you tonight. Hey, man, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do for the entertainment business. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to chatting with you again.
We're going to catch you guys next week. DCPC coming at you forever and always. And such a pleasure. Justin, we'll catch you next time, man.
Y'all be good to yourselves. You deserve it.